Hello and welcome. Let's make two dishes today. Hot aloo paratha along with nice jeera pulav. First, let's make the aloo paratha. In this step, all we are doing is boiling some golden potatoes. It has to be boiled very well so that they get nicely mushed up, nicely mashed up, which we can stuff into the paratha. All we are doing now is to peel the skins and keep them ready for the next step. Now that we have the aloo peeled up, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of turmeric or manjal or haldi and about half a teaspoon of chili powder and start mashing it. Mash the potato well, make sure there are no chunks. I put some salt when I pressure cooked or boiled the aloo. If you haven't done so, add 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of salt at this point. Now that the aloo or potato is ready, let's start making the masala. In this step, I'm taking half a medium-sized onion, peeling the skin off and chopping it into fine pieces so I can cook them along with the aloo. Now let's actually cook them. Heat oil in a pan, 2 tablespoons are good. Add the onions and then cook them really thoroughly. The raw smell of the onion has to go away. Once the raw smell of the onion goes away, it takes about 5 to 6 minutes. Let's add the aloo now and mix them all up very well. I added a little bit of oil, little bit of pinch of garlic and a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon and a half of sambar powder, which gives a nice flavor. Finally, I also added 1 teaspoon of garam masala and mash them all up. I cannot insist the way this needs to be mashed up because that will make your life much easier when you are stuffing the potatoes. Finally, add some fresh coriander and some kasoori methi, dried kasoori methi. Crush it with your hand, put it inside, mix it up and let it cool down. Once it's cool, make it into small balls and keep it aside. Now let's go and make the dough or the atta for the parathas. Making dough for chapatis are one of the easiest things, especially if you have a food processor. As you can see, all I did is put the wheat flour or atta into the food processor, use the dough blade and add water little by little. Add some oil in the beginning and start adding water little by little until the dough starts absorbing all the moisture and become a nice homogeneous mass of dough. Look at how it works. It's very easy. Most of the food processors will have some kind of a mechanism by which you can add oil, water little by little from the top. Now that we have the dough and the masala, let's make the aloo paratha. Flatten the dough to a reasonable thickness. Don't make it very thin because the masala will ooze out of that. Put the masala in the middle, fold like shown, pinch the top and make it into a complete ball. Make sure the masala is fully surrounded. Remove any excess atta from the top, excess dough from the top and use loose flour to flatten the whole thing again. Very simple, use hands, use some more dough and flatten the whole thing again. Heat a tawa and put the flattened dough along with the masala in. Add oil, flip as required and roast until golden brown and enjoy. Now that the aloo paratha is done, let's go make our jeera pulav with peas and carrots. Heat oil. I use coconut oil, but you can use ghee if you want. Put a small piece of cinnamon, 2 pieces of bay leaves, 2 or 3 cardamom just for flavor. That gives a very good flavor. Add 3 cloves and gently saute them along with a whole teaspoon of jeera. Once the jeera sputters, so switch off the heat and keep it aside. Take 1 cup of rice, add about a quarter cup of peas and carrots. You can use frozen or fresh, it doesn't matter. Add this mixture we just made into that. Add about 1.5 cups of water and a teaspoon of salt for taste. Please note that the amount of water you are adding depends on the rice. Typically it's 1:2 or 1:3 depending on the rice. I used a rice cooker, and once it's done, look how the texture is. Use a little less than what the recommended amount of water is so that the pulao doesn't stick to each other. Look at that final product. Nicely, the oil or the ghee what you're using is also going to help from the rice from sticking to each other. But the aroma, the final product, it looks fantastic. Enjoy with your aloo paratha.